All right, to the leadership at Attour and Beypano, welcome. Look, what we're about to dive into isn't just another market entry plan. Think of this as a blueprint, a roadmap for not just playing in Libya's reconstruction, but for fundamentally shaping it. Let's get started. Let's just start with the big number, right? $30 billion. That's the estimated size of Libya's infrastructure pipeline between 2025 and 2030. And let's be crystal clear here. This is not just some new market opening up. This is a nation-building event, a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And your partnership, it's uniquely positioned to be right at the heart of it all.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at that massive $30 billion opportunity. Then, we're going to pick apart the market's structural flaws. After that, we'll talk about your unfair strategic advantage. From there, it's all about the proactive sales playbook, and finally, we'll talk about the endgame, becoming the Libyan standard.
Right. Section 1, the $30 billion opportunity. We're sizing up Libya's once-in-a-generation reconstruction, so let's really unpack that huge number. What we are witnessing here is this incredible wave of capital about to pour into the country. And getting this right, really understanding the scale of it, is absolutely fundamental to every single move we're going to make.
Now, check out this breakdown. Yeah, okay, urban and transport is a big slice of the pie, no doubt. But look at this. Energy and power. We're talking $5 to $7 billion. That is an enormous, highly concentrated demand for exactly what you do best: high-quality, expertly engineered electrical systems. Okay, moving on. A market's structural flaws. Here's where it gets really interesting, because an immature market is actually your greatest opportunity. You see, this massive opportunity, it doesn't exist in a perfect world. It's happening inside a market that has some deep, deep structural flaws. But here's the twist. For us, these aren't problems. Oh no. These are the cracks in the armor, the very openings we are going to exploit to build an unbeatable advantage. Weakness number 1, the technical knowledge gap. And this one is huge. Most retailers out there, they just don't have the engineering depth. Their sales pitch is basically just a stock-picking exercise. The conversation isn't, what does your project need? It's, what do I have on the shelf? This means that true engineering-driven sales, which is your absolute core strength, is basically a ghost in this market. It's just not there.
And that flows right into the second major flaw: stock-driven product selection. Basically, what's in the warehouse dictates what gets sold, not what the project actually requires. It's a buy in bulk, push it out the door mentality, whether it's the right fit or not. The key takeaway here? The current model is all about logistics. It's about moving boxes from point A to point B. It has nothing to do with solving complex engineering problems for customers.
Which brings us to weakness number 3, and honestly, this is the big one: the lack of industry standards. Right now, there is no defined standard for electrical panels in Libya. None. And what does that create? Total chaos. It's a race to the bottom on price, quality is a wild guess, and engineering, well, it's pretty much an afterthought. But listen, this chaos isn't a problem for us. It's our central strategic opening. It's the vacuum we're going to fill.
So this slide right here, it lays out the choice perfectly. On one side, you've got the current market. It's a high-volume, low-value game. You're basically selling empty metal boxes and fighting over pennies. But on the other side, that's the future market. That's your market. It's about supplying high-value, fully engineered panel systems. This is where expertise wins. This is where you win.
All right, next up, your unfair strategic advantage. We're going to leverage your unique strengths to dominate. So the big question is, how do we actually capture that high-value market? Well, we do it by leveraging what I like to call your unfair strategic advantages. We're pivoting now from talking about the market's problems to talking about your unique power to solve them.
And it all starts with Attour. You guys are not some new kid on the block. You're a local powerhouse founded way back in 2002 with deep Libyan roots. This isn't just about being around for a while. It's about deep-seated trust, on-the-ground knowledge, and a rock-solid reputation that no foreign competitor can just fly in and copy. This is your home turf advantage, and it's massive. And then you pair that local strength with Beypano, the global manufacturing engine. We're talking about production that hits those tough European standards. The ability to do full customization and type testing, and world-class engineering support on tap. This combination right here, this is the magic. It lets Attour focus on being lean, mean, and client-facing, all while being backed by the absolute rock-solid quality of a global manufacturing leader.
I want to pause on this for a second, because it's so important. The fact that so many electrical engineers in Libya were trained by Professor Abdel-Salam Makawi, that's not just a nice little factoid. It's not a contact list. It's a direct line to the heart of Libya's engineering community. When you speak, they don't just hear a company, they hear a mentor. That gives you a level of trust and authority that is literally priceless. It's your license to start setting the standards this market so desperately needs.
Okay, so now we're getting into the proactive sales playbook. This is about shifting from passive distribution to active project hunting. With these incredible strengths, the question becomes, how do we go to market? Well, it's going to require a major shift in mindset. We are done with passive distribution. We are implementing a proactive, hungry sales playbook that is built for this new project-driven world. Let's be blunt about the old way versus the new way. The old way, the way everyone else is doing it, is passive. You sit around, you wait for the phone to ring, you sell what you've got in stock. That's not sales, that's just logistics. Our new model is proactive. We hunt for projects, we engineer solutions, we compete on value. This is how you win the game.
And look, this isn't some abstract theory. It's a concrete, repeatable, 6-step process. Step 1, we identify projects way early at the design stage. 2, we get in front of the key stakeholders. 3, we do a real technical needs analysis. 4, we leverage Beypano to develop a world-class engineered solution. 5, we prepare and present a killer technical proposal. And 6, we convert that proposal into a signed order. It's a system that turns your engineering DNA into a powerful commercial weapon.
Now, to make this playbook work, we have to know who to talk to. There are 2 key players in this value chain you have to understand. First, you've got your EPCs, the big engineering, procurement, and construction firms. They manage the whole show. But the MEP contractors, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, these are our most critical targets. Why? Because they're the ones actually installing the systems, and they're almost always the ones signing the checks for the panels.
So, let's get specific. Here is your hit list. These are the top international EPCs that you need to be building relationships with yesterday. These are the big fish, the ones landing the massive contracts. Take El Sweety Electric, for example. They just landed this Lighten power plant deal. These guys are your absolute highest value targets. So, let's just boil down the playbook to its core entry points. We go after the EPCs for the big-ticket panel packages. We build an incredibly deep network with the MEPs because they're the direct buyers. And here's the secret sauce. We influence the engineering consultants to get Beypano specified right into the tender documents from day one. And to manage all this, we need a killer project tracking database to make sure we're always ahead of the game.
And all of this, it brings us to the final section, becoming the Libyan standard. This is the endgame. We're moving from being just a market player to being the market definer. Everything we've talked about, the market's flaws, your unique strengths, that proactive sales playbook, it has all been building towards this one ultimate goal, not just to compete in Libya, but to own it, to define it.
And to do that, we need laser focus. Take a look at this chart. This tells you exactly where the money is, where the high-value projects are. Power generation and grid modernization. Together, that's 60% of the entire opportunity. 60%. So guess where we're going to point our sales team first? Right there. And don't think for a second this is some far-off hypothetical future. No, these are real projects on the calendar happening now. Construction at the Zilliton power plant, it's starting this year. That massive Benghazi airport, they're aiming to finish by 2026. The point is, this opportunity isn't just huge, it's immediate. The clock is ticking.
So it all comes back to that one central question we asked earlier. What should a proper electrical panel standard be in Libya? Right now, in this chaotic market, nobody has the answer, but you do. With Attour's deep local credibility and Beypano's world-class European standards, your partnership is the only one truly qualified to answer that question.
Because at the end of the day, it's simple. The company that answers that question, the one that gets to define what quality, safety, and reliability look like in the new Libya, that's the company that doesn't just compete, it leads. The company that defines the standard wins the entire market. Your time is now.